Hello, friends, and welcome to Friday Fire. Thank you for taking the time to join us this week. A shift in your assignment will always require a shift in your thinking. A shift in your assignment will always require a shift in your thinking. Over the last year and a half, I've really been sensing the Holy Spirit dealing with me about a change of emphasis for Pam and I and Revival Now Ministries. We are going to continue to travel across the United States conducting revival meetings, Sunday services, marriage retreats, and conferences. But I'm feeling very strongly from the Lord that a change in focus has taken place from just the United States and spending the majority of our time here in the U.S. to conducting even more outreaches to the nations of the world. But I have found that with this stirring and with this sensing of a change in a leading from the Lord, when God calls for a change in your assignment, it will always require a change in your thinking. I've been in ministry since 1978, served in pastoral ministry for over 23 years. Since 2001, Pam and I have crisscrossed the United States conducting revival campaigns, some of them lasting for 9 weeks at a time. During that time, we also, for 5 years, served as the director of a pastor's training to the Amerindians in Guyana, South America. Since 2007, we have been traveling multiple times per year to Kenya, East Africa, conducting crusades and conferences and special events. And since April of 2010, as you well know, we have founded the Maasai Vocational Training Center there in Kilgoris. And now, with all of that going on, God seems to be speaking to me and telling us to get ready that we're going to spend even more time leading teams to Kenya and to Nicaragua. There's some Southeast Asia nations that are literally what seems to be issuing a Macedonian call for us to come over and to help them. And I noticed last November as God really heavily began to deal with me about spending more time traveling to the nations, and I was saying yes. I finally embraced what I sensed the Lord was telling to me. From that moment until now, it seems like everything has fallen apart. Meetings began to cancel. Attacks began to come into our bodies. Several other things happened, and I won't go into detail because I'm not saying this to get you to feel sorry for us or to pity us. But since the beginning of the year, I have laid everything out before the Lord, in which many of you have also done. Many of you and many churches all around the world are completing 21 days of fasting and praying, and I'm telling you, it has shifted something in the atmosphere, not only across the United States, but in other nations of the world. But as I was thinking about this and asking the Lord this afternoon, God, have I missed it? I was driving home from town when the Lord spoke to me, and it clicked in my heart, and it was like the Holy Spirit said, "Son, you are in exactly the same place and same position that so many others are in right now." See, many of you have said yes to the call of God, and it seems like all hell has broken loose against your life. You gave your life to Jesus because you thought surely your life could not become any worse than what it was, and it did. You planted a financial seed that you and your spouse absolutely knew was the seed and the number from the Lord, and your car broke down. The washer and dryer blew up. And some of you even lost your job. And the thought exploded in my spirit this afternoon. What do you do when you embrace God's plan for your life and future and everything seems to fall apart and go the other way? Number one, write this down. Never forget that God is still good. No matter how bad you have it now, God is still good. And He has a plan for your life. Jesus said it this way in John 10:10, "The thief comes to steal and to kill and to destroy, but I am come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly." Secondly, we must learn to be patient where we are on the way to where we're going. Learn to be patient where you are on the way to where you're going. Many people will abort the plan of God for their life by taking matters in their own hands and making something happen. And when they do, they will create an Absalom or an Ishmael. And I wrote a book about Absalom, and I know too well what it's like to become impatient with God and then try to make something happen. Thirdly, take some extra time to focus your worship on the one who called you, because it's really not what we do that matters, it's what we do with Him. There will be a day that we'll be judged for the things that we've done in our body according to what we've done, whether it's good or bad, but it should start and end. And I found out that when I spend extra time in worship and prayer over a plan that God has given me, my plans fall to the side, and God's plan always comes to the forefront. Fourthly, remind yourself that this attack is a sure sign that you are in obedience to God, and that this really is the will of God for your life. Psalms 18:30 said it this way. David said, "As for God, His way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. But the Lord will be a shield to all those who trust in Him." A shift in your assignment will require a shift in your thinking. I have accepted the fact that there is a change in assignment for Pam and I. We're going to continue to minister across the United States, going to continue to serve in an overseer role over many churches across the United States. But I know as I embraced in November of 2012, as I embraced and said yes to this call of God, that God was speaking to my heart, standing on the top floor of the Days Inn, looking out over the Interstate 81, there were tears rolling down my face. I said, "God, how are we going to do this? I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the connections. I don't know how to make all this happen." There was a tractor trailer immediately, right when I looked up at the interstate, came by, and on the side of that tractor trailer it said, "You'll never walk on water until you get out of the boat." You'll never walk on water until you get out of the boat. Get out of the boat, friends. It's time to follow Him with all of our heart, soul, mind, body, and strength, and He will make the way where there is no way. Join us this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at First Assembly of God in LaGrange, Georgia. We're excited to be coming back to LaGrange and First Assembly with Pastors Lane and Vicki Farley. Service times are 7 o'clock Friday night and Saturday night, February 1st and 2nd. Sunday morning only, 10:30 a.m., and there will be no Sunday night service there at First Assembly. For directions or for more information, visit our website, revivalnow.org. I love you, friends, and until next week, may the fire of the Holy Spirit of God fall in your life this weekend.